Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss essay paper which has been there in the Civil Service Mains Exam 2022. As promised that we will be coming up with the discussion of this paper, so we are here with that. As we have already discussed when we have analyzed this year's question paper, that this year question paper has been a little bit change in the trend. Like we have philosophical topics, complete philosophical topics are also there. Then we have philosophy plus thematic topics, and linkages are also being there. And then otherwise also the questions are quite simpler. For some people are saying that it is not that simple, but yes, if we start understanding these topics and if we start writing essays from the perspective of UPSC, and I don't think that we are writing essays for आपका जो है कोई literary review के लिए लिख रहे हैं. No, that is not required. So when you see these as essays from the eyes of a civil servant, from the eyes of a would-be aspirant, you will find that these are not at all that difficult, which it appears. So let us take the topics one by one and we will try to discuss, है ना, each topic. हर topic पे कुछ ना कुछ हम इस पे discuss करेंगे and I think it is going to really help all of us. So section A, topic number 1. It says that forests are the best. Forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. So forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. Here it is asking you to talk about your forests and your relationship with economics, है ना. So forests जो है, they are the best case studies for economic excellence. So if we underline the tail words, these are the 3 important tail words in this essay: forest, case studies and economic excellence. Economic one term, excellence another, है ना. Excellence in terms of your economics. So now let us see what is the demand of this topic, and if you read this question in Hindi as UPSC has asked, so आर्थिक समृद्धि हासिल करने के मामले में वन सर्वोत्तम प्रतिमान होते हैं, है ना. So case studies जो हैं आपकी, forest are the best case studies for economic excellence. So first of all let us understand what is a case study, है ना. We are saying that forests are the case studies. So what is this case study? Case study क्या होता है? Case study you do for your ethics also. Case studies is what? It is an in-depth or detailed examination of a particular case, है ना, which within a real you can say real world context में जो हम करते हैं, that is your case study. ठीक है. And then it is talking about economic excellence. So what does economy mean? है ना, इकोनॉमिक एक्सीलेंस. तो एक्सीलेंस का क्या मतलब है? एक्सीलेंस मीन्स समथिंग द बेस्ट, है ना, वेयर यू आर एक्सेलिंग. एंड इकोनॉमिक्स का मीनिंग क्या होता है? इकोनॉमिक्स मीन्स आपका जुडिशियस यूज ऑफ रिसोर्सेज फॉर प्रोडक्शन, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड कंजम्पशन. You know, that is your rightful use, or you can say judicious use of resources. So it is saying that forest जो वन है, जो जंगल है ना, they are the best case studies to learn for economic excellence. Economic excellence का क्या मतलब हुआ? Economics में, है ना, economics which is about your judicious use of your resources, judicious use of your resources for production, distribution and consumption. So जो forest है, forests are going to tell us that how we should use the resources in the economy in the best possible manner. Now the question is why? Why we are comparing your forest with economics? Do we have some similarities there? Do we have some similarities between these two ecosystems, economic ecosystem and your forest ecosystem? Do they have some similarities? Or or what is the reason why we are saying that we should learn from forests? है ना, so these kind of questions should come to our minds, that why we are comparing these two. They are completely two different things. If you see, one is a natural ecosystem, other is a man-made ecosystem. One is an economic ecosystem, the other is a natural ecosystem. Biodiversity it is talking about, and then it is saying that we should learn from the forest. So what is there in the forest that we are not using or doing in our economic excellence? So first thing is, let us see what is common between the two. And if you talk about what is common between the two, what is common between your forest and your economy? Let us first compare and see where are we differing. Why the topic is saying that we should learn from forest. We should learn from forest. Then why should we learn from forest? But before, why we are comparing the two? What kind of similarities do they have? So if you see, let us compare the two. Let us take the participants. है ना, participants ले लो, या फिर you can say building blocks. Building blocks, है ना, when you take it, है ना, first let us write participants or building blocks in आपका जो है ecosystem. First we write here, let us draw this diagram. Ecosystem एक बनाते हैं. Ecosystem one, we have forest ecosystem, and on the other side we have आपका जो है economic ecosystem, है ना. So when you talk about number one thing that is common, that is like both ecosystems, forest as well as your economic ecosystems, both are having your participants, or they are having certain building blocks. Now who are the participants in the forest ecosystem, or you can say biodiversity? यहाँ पे you have आपका natural resources, flora and fauna, soil, climate, etc. These are your participants, or these are the building blocks of your forest, or you can say biodiversity. Biodiversity, these are your building blocks. And when you talk about your economic, who are the participants in this economic ecosystem? So if you see, the building blocks of economic ecosystem is basically आपका जो है different economic entities, like आपके जो है corporates, companies, PSUs, है ना, individual, आपका जो है joint employees, etc, etc. So it means both the ecosystems have certain building blocks, and both the building blocks are showing different participants in this ecosystem. So we can compare, because in this ecosystem also we have lot of your participants, we have lot of building blocks. Similarly आपका जो है economic ecosystem में भी you have so many of your building blocks, है ना, you have so many components which are constituting this economic ecosystem. So when you talk about resources, है ना, resources की अगर हम बात करते हैं, तो here you have natural resources, here you have natural resources, here you have resources like capital, minerals, टेक्नोलॉजी, है ना. यहाँ पे आपका नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज लाइक वाटर बॉडीज, है ना, आपका वाटर बॉडीज है, आपके हिल्स हैं, आपके लैंड है, सॉइल है, जो भी है आपका, दीज आर एटमॉस्फेयर है, दीज आर योर रिसोर्सेज, है ना. रिसोर्सेज, सम रिसोर्सेज आर हियर ऑल्सो, सम रिसोर्सेज आर हियर ऑल्सो, है ना. तो दोनों में जो है रिसोर्सेज भी हैं, दोनों में जो है आपके बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स भी हैं. एंड नाउ व्हाट इज द गोल, है ना, बिकॉज थर्ड थिंग इज गोल. गोल जो है ये आपका जो है, यहाँ पे गोल क्या है आपका, इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, ग्रोथ, overall growth of humanity, है ना, ओवरऑल ग्रोथ ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी। यहाँ पे आपका क्या है, इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट आपका ओवरऑल सस्टेनेबिलिटी ऑफ द नेचुरल सिस्टम। है ना, so when you see forest and when you see your economic ecosystem, both have certain building blocks, है ना, both use resources and both have certain goals, है ना। नेचर का अपना गोल है कि अपना नेचुरल इकोसिस्टम को मेंटेन करके रखना, कंजर्व करके रखना, उसमें सस्टेनेबिलिटी लाके रखना, एंड इकोनॉमिक आपका जो है इकोसिस्टम का जो है आपका गोल इज बेसिकली इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, ग्रोथ, ओवरऑल ग्रोथ of humanity, overall progress of humanity, है ना, that is what is the goal। ठीक है, तो there we find that there are certain components which are common to that, there are certain pillars which are having components which is there in both the systems, and like you have resource, goal, participants or building blocks, etc. Now that is why we can compare the two, है ना, we can compare these two। Now the question is that it is saying that we should learn, so it means there is something wrong with the economic ecosystem, है ना। So what is wrong with the economic ecosystem? So when you see the economic ecosystem is there is something wrong because the way it is functioning, है ना, the economic ecosystem, the way it should function and the way it is functioning, it is talking about economic excellence, but today we are not talking about excellence, we are only talking about number, we are only talking about growth in terms of numbers, है ना, we are not talking about excellence। Had we been talking about excellence, then we would have been talking about that each and every person on this earth should be happy with the economic ecosystem, but this is not happening। That is why the divide between the haves and have-nots, or the divide between the rich and poor is increasing, the divide between the rich countries and poor countries, it is increasing, है ना। So the point is that there is something wrong to be learned। So what is the natural ecosystem telling us? If you see the nature's way of functioning, if you see the case study of the environment, the environmental जो आपका forest ecosystem है, the forest आपका जो system है, it is talking about development of biodiversity, and it is doing it in a very, very beautiful way। It is not having some kind of a crony word attached to it। The natural ecosystem or the forest, they are not doing misallocation, है ना, everything is appropriately and rightly given to all the species which is required, है ना। and अगर एक species आपकी dominant हो जाती है तो nature जो है उसको जो है वो खत्म कर देता है। जैसे डायनासोर्स एक बार डोमिनेंट हो गए, नेचर ने इसको खत्म कर दिया, ठीक है। कोई भी आपका जो है प्लांट का, फौना का स्पीसीज आप देखो, वो बहुत डोमिनेंट हो जाता है और उस पूरे सराउंडिंग को इट इज डिस्ट्रॉइंग। सो नेचुरली व्हाट हैपेंस इज दैट धीरे धीरे दैट इज वाइप्ड आउट। सो द पॉइंट इज दैट the natural ecosystem is, or the forest ecosystem works on the principle of sustainability. The forest ecosystem works on the principle of zero waste. There is nothing called waste in the forest ecosystem, है ना। आप like say for example some animal dies, वो biomass बन जाता है, वो दोबारा से system में use हो जाता है। So there is no waste generation। पत्ता सूखता है वो आपका biomass बन जाता है, कोई animal मरता है वो आपका biomass बायोमास बन जाता है. So the point is there is no zero waste in the forest ecosystem. There is more, it is sustainable, है ना, बिकॉज किसी एक को भी कभी भी बहुत ज़्यादा, यू नेवर सी दैट वन स्पीशीज इज गेटिंग डोमिनेंट. इट माइट बिकम डोमिनेंट फॉर सम टाइम एंड नेचर उसको फिर ख़त्म कर देती है ना. तो वी हैव सच काइंड ऑफ एग्जाम्पल. सबसे जो एग्जाम्पल विच वी कैन ईजिली कनेक्ट टू इज योर डायनासोर्स. इसके अलावा जो है आपका जो फॉरेस्ट वाला सिस्टम है, दिस फॉरेस्ट इकोसिस्टम, इट क्रिएट्स interdependence. It is talking about आपका जो है, it is talking about your symbiotic relationship. It talks about interdependence, है ना. Species are interdependent on each other. So this is a ecosystem. Forest ecosystem जो है हमारा, forest वाला ecosystem, it is if we compare the forest ecosystem, it is sustainable, है ना. ये जो हमारा forest ecosystem है, forest ecosystem, it is sustainable, it is producing zero waste production, and then it is creating interdependency. And when you compare our economic ecosystem, just opposite is happening, है ना. just opposite is happening because हमारा जो economic system है, that is highly unsustainable, है ना. it is zero waste, it is creating lots of waste which is leading to pollution. You talk about interdependency, it is creating dependence, है ना. so it is creating dependence of poor on rich, है ना, dependence of poor on rich. That is why therefore you will see that divide between rich and poor, it is increasing, it is leading to crony capitalism. You know, it is leading to crony capitalism. So it is saying that if you compare the two ecosystem, we have seen that they have similar, like both are having building blocks, both are having some goals, both are having your common resources, है ना, both, and they are using their resources and to fulfill the goal. But the point is the use of the resources, the manner that we are using the resources in the natural system in comparison to our economic system is drastically different, because they are using the resources in sustainable manner, they are creating zero waste, they are creating interdependencies. But here we are using the resources, we are using our strengths to create unsustainable systems. We are creating lots of waste, we are creating dependence of poor on rich, and that is why we are seeing that this ecosystem, economic ecosystem, is supporting the rich, है ना. That is why we are seeing that crony capitalism is there. Rich countries are getting richer, है ना, and they are dominating your small countries, those who have deeper pockets like US, or you talk about China, है ना. They are bringing, China is bringing the countries under debt trap. US is talking about आपका जो है, you see US is talking about आपका जो है sanctions, because it is having the dominance of the dollar. So the point is the economic excellence. Actually we are not working on excellence, we are only talking about growth in terms of numbers. So that is why the essay is saying that we should learn, है ना. जो फॉरेस्ट का जो सिस्टम है, दैट इज अ बिग लर्निंग, है ना. वी हैव टू लर्न फ्रॉम द फॉरेस्ट, दे आर द बेस्ट केस स्टडी फॉर इकोनॉमिक एक्सीलेंस. फर्स्ट थिंग इज we should actually target on excellence rather than just on number, है ना, हमें सिर्फ ग्रोथ नहीं देखना है. वी शुड लुक फॉर जुडिशियस यूज ऑफ आवर इकोनॉमिक रिसोर्सेज. दैट इज व्हाट इज एक्सीलेंस. तो पहले हमारे को ये क्लियर होना चाहिए कि हम एक्सीलेंस की बात करेंगे या सिर्फ ग्रोथ की. अगर हम सिर्फ ग्रोथ की बात करेंगे तो हमारे पैरामीटर्स वुड बी दिस. बट इफ वी रियली वांट टू एक्सेल, देन वी हैव टू लर्न दिस फ्रॉम द फॉरेस्ट. सो दैट इज व्हाट द essay is talking about, that forests are the best case studies for economic excellence. So in you can talk about various aspects, like we have just discussed ki what are the similarities, what are the differences, what is the learning, why this is not happening in the economic ecosystem. Because economic ecosystem, the people who like it is the humans who are running the economic system, and humans have that greed, fear, है ना, ego. And that is why, है ना, that is why we are having a ecosystem which is highly unsustainable, a ecosystem which is not for all. It is only favoring the powerful people. So that is what is the essay is talking about, है ना. इसके around we can develop our whole essay. Now see, we are not going to discuss कि हम कैसे start करेंगे, कैसे end करेंगे. This is up to you, because there is no one way of starting any essay. There is no one way of writing a complete essay. Everyone has his or her way of writing the essays. And the only thing is that the demand of the topic, है ना, should be clearly seen, or it should be clearly met by your writings, है ना. That is what even UPSC says, that keep closely to the demand of the topic. So you should touch the demand of the topic, but the way of writing can be different for different people, है ना. तो इसीलिए हम राइटिंग स्टाइल की बात आज यहाँ नहीं कर रहे हैं. हम सिर्फ एसे को समझने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ये एसेज जो हैं इनमें हम क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ द सेकंड टॉपिक इज आल्सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक. इट इज पोएट्स आर द unacknowledged legislatures of the world, है ना. Poets are the unacknowledged legislatures of the world. So poets are unacknowledged legislatures, है ना. So this is again a interesting topic. कवि संसार के अनधिकृत रूप से मान्य विधायक होते हैं. दिस इज द हिंदी वर्जन दैट यूपीएससी हैज गिवन. कवि संसार के अनधिकृत रूप से मान्य विधायक होते हैं. पोएट्स आर द अनअक्नॉलेज्ड लेजिस्लेचर्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. सो हियर they are asking you to compare poets and polity, legislation, है ना. poets and legislation जो है इनको compare करने की बात कही जाती है. And then they are saying कि poets जो है they are unacknowledged, है ना. they are not being acknowledged, but they do play a role, है ना. that is what, if you try to understand the topic in a very simple manner, they are saying that जो poets होते हैं, जो कवि होते हैं, they are helping in the process of legislation, but they are not acknowledged, है ना. they are not acknowledged for it, but they do impact legislations. Now the question is, how do they impact? And first thing is, why we are comparing poetry or poems or poets with your legislations or legislature, है ना. poem और legislature जो है इनमें ऐसा क्या common thread है जो we are now talking about comparing the two. So if you see the common thread between the two is that both of them are for society, or they are in the society, है ना. So if you see society, है ना, society is the common thread, है ना. every society has their own culture, their own custom, their own prejudices, है ना. उसके around ही आपका जो है poems भी होती हैं, उसके around ही आपकी जो है आपके legislations भी होते हैं. So every society has certain aspirations, you know. societies have certain aspirations, they have certain goals, they have expectations. they have duties, they have responsibilities. Societies have their imaginations. है ना, जैसे हम कहते हैं कि इंडिया विल बिकम द पावर हाउस और वी आर गोइंग टू बी द डेवलप्ड कंट्री बाय 2047. सो दैट्स अवर एस्पिरेशन, दैट इज अवर गोल, दैट इज अवर ड्रीम, है ना. सो सोसाइटी हैव देयर ओन एस्पिरेशंस, दे हैव देयर ओन गोल्स, दे हैव देयर ओन एक्सपेक्टेशंस, ड्यूटीज, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, है ना. तो आप देखोगे कि दोनों जो है, पोएट्स एंड योर लेजिस्लेचर्स, बोथ आर एग्जिस्टिंग इन द सोसाइटी. And society has certain goals, they have aspirations, they have dreams, they have certain imaginations, है ना. And these things can happen in the various fields. It can happen in you can have political aspirations, you can have social aspirations, you can have economic aspirations, you can have your technological aspirations or dream technological. आपका defense से related आपकी aspirations हो सकती है ना. सो यू कैन हैव इन डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस, है ना. आपकी अपनी कल्चरल आपकी एस्पिरेशंस हो सकती हैं कि हमारा कल्चर, इंडियन कल्चर शुड स्प्रेड इन द वर्ल्ड, है ना. योगा, दैट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ आवर कल्चर एंड वी आर नाउ हैविंग द योगा डे. दैट वाज our aspiration that our culture, which is the best part of our culture, it should be followed by the world because it is for the betterment of the humankind. So that is what like हर सोसाइटी का, हर कंट्री का, हर एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन का, यू आर हैविंग सर्टेन एस्पिरेशंस, है ना. तो द पॉइंट इज पोएट और लेजिस्लेशन दोनों ही सोसाइटी के अंदर जो है एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. और ये जो आपकी एस्पिरेशंस हैं, है ना, ये जो आपकी एस्पिरेशंस हैं, ये हमारी एस्पिरेशंस जो हैं यही पोएट्स बताते हैं. यू विल सी दैट देयर आर, आपका जो सोसाइटी में जो पोएट्स हैं, दे आर राइटिंग पोएम्स ऑन से वीर रस, है ना. वीर रस के ऊपर पोएम लिख रहे हैं, श्रृंगार रस पे लिख रहे हैं, है ना. आपका जो है देशभक्ति पे पोएम लिख रहे हैं, है ना. सो द पॉइंट, पेट्रोटिज्म के ऊपर पोएम है आपकी. सो देयर आर सो मेनी पोएम्स ऑन डिफरेंट थीम्स, है ना. दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट पोएम्स ऑन जुडिशरी और जुडिशियस यूज ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज. दे आर हैविंग poems are talking about the problems of poverty, hunger. Poems are talking about the issues, or they are taking up the issues of social oppression, है ना. poems के through जो है, poets are also talking about your they are celebrating the bravery of our soldiers. So the point is that there are so many different aspirations, or there are so many different realities that are being reflected through poems, है ना. poems जो हैं, what are they, है ना. लिटरेचर जो है, दैट इज द रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी. जो है साहित्य जो है समाज का दर्पण होता है. दिस इज द रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी. एंड द सोसाइटी में जो आपकी चीज़ें चल रही हैं, उसी के अराउंड जो है हम अपना लॉज बनाते हैं, है ना. लाइक यू सी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, है ना. हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज टॉकिंग अबाउट DPSP, दैट इज आवर एस्पिरेशंस, है ना. जो हम डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी, दैट इज आवर एस्पिरेशन, है ना. एंड अपने एस्पिरेशंस के बेस पे ही वी आर मेकिंग लॉज. आवर प्रियम्बल इज सेइंग दैट इंडिया इज अ सेक्युलर, सोवरेन, सोशलिस्ट, डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज सोवरेन, सेक्युलर, सोशलिस्ट, डेमोक्रेटिक रिपब्लिक. सो दिस इज आवर एस्पिरेशन, है ना. एंड हमारे लॉज भी इन्हीं एस्पिरेशंस के अराउंड है. If you see, our laws are for promoting secularism, it is about promoting sovereignty, it is talking about आपका जो है democratic values. So everything is around these things, है ना. हमारे जितने भी laws हैं, हमारा citizenship जैसे define हुआ है, हमारा constitution जैसे define हुआ है, हमारी boundaries जैसे define हुई हैं. So everything is like your आपका जो है आपका जो है that is about the aspiration of the common man. So the aspirations are being aspirations are being discussed by poems also. The aspirations are there, the reflection of, जैसे कि आज के टाइम पे, say for example, aspiration है कि इंडिया में हर कोई पढ़े, तो right to education is there, है ना. Then we have food security, that is our aspiration, that nobody should die of hunger in the country. So right to food, आपका जो है, sorry, आपका जो है food security programs are there, है ना. उसी तरह there are certain non-state actors which are impacting the sovereignty of the country, which are impacting the law and order of the country. So accordingly we have IPC, we are having CRPC, we are having laws like UPA and all those things. So the point is, and then we are having, हमारा aspiration है कि technologically हम एक बहुत safe secure country बने, data safe secure country बने. So we are having laws for digital आपका जो है governance. So the point is that जो aspirations होते हैं, है ना, try to understand the link between the two, है ना. That link between the two is both are talking about the aspiration of the people. Now the topic is saying that poets are unacknowledged legislators. So why we say that they are unacknowledged? So unacknowledged because they are not the formal voice, है ना. जो आपके poems हैं, जो poets हैं, they are not a formal structure. They are not like your government officials. They are not your secretaries. They are not your civil servants who are making your policies, programs. So they are not a formal setup, है ना. तो इसीलिए उनका अनएक्नॉलेज्ड कहा जाता है. एंड पोएम्स जो हैं आपके, पोएट्स आर द वॉइस ऑफ द मासेस, है ना. इट इज लाइक वी द पीपल, है ना. वी द पीपल कॉन्स्टिट्यूट द कंट्री, है ना. वी द पीपल कॉन्स्टिट्यूट द कंट्री, बट एक्चुअली हम जो हैं फॉर्मली हु आवर रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स, जो लेजिस्लेचर्स हैं, दे आर रनिंग द कंट्री, है ना. और द सिविल सर्वेंट्स, दे आर रनिंग द कंट्री बिकॉज दे आर द वन हु आर फॉर्मली इन द सेटअप. We the people are the ultimate power, but we the people are not the one who are formally working in the system. So that is what is the difference here. We the people can be compared to, or we the people are the poets, and जो लोग आपके यहाँ legislation बना रहे हैं, these are the legislators. So poets are just we the people. They are not your civil servants, they are not your bureaucrats, they are not your आपके जो हैं elected representatives of the people. So that is why they are it is said that poets are the unacknowledged. Like say for example, we say, जैसे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर की पोएम है ना, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, है ना. तो ये जो आपका the world has not been divided into narrow domestic walls, and मतलब it's a long poem, and then you talk about that God let my country go to this direction, है ना. So I'm just not recalling the exact lines of this poem, but the point is where the mind is without the fear and the head is held high. So if you see this poem, head is held high means it is talking about right to dignity, you know, dignified life. This is what our legislation is talking about, you know, right to dignity or dignified life for everyone. We talk about it. Where the mind is without fear, we are talking about that there should not be any fear. You know, we are making laws that our citizens should live the life with freedom, not with fear. Even in our international aspirations, we are talking about strategic autonomy. We are talking about our sovereignty, because we do not want to be under the control of somebody, because when you are under the control of somebody, then there is a fear in your mind, you know. And it is talking about the world is not divided into narrow domestic walls. So it is talking about fraternity. It is talking about peaceful coexistence. These are the aspirations, these are the values which are there in our constitution. अगर आप देखो हमारे सारे जो legislations हैं, they are revolving around it, है ना. It is talking about heavens of freedom. This poem is talking about heavens of freedom. So now we are talking about freedom in everything. You know, we have right to freedom. So right to freedom के बारे में भी आप देखो, the poem is talking about it. And let my country away. So the point is that the whole poem is where, if you see, the aspirations of India are very beautifully depicted. And these aspirations aspirations, if you see, they have some kind of the correlation with the various legislations. But when we talk about the Constitution of India, we do not say that the Constitution of India is based on Gitanjali. Though Mr. Rabindranath Tagore जो है, he has got the Nobel Prize for this, but we do not say that our constitution is based on Rabindranath Tagore's poem. We say that our constitution is based on Government of India Act 1919, 1935 and all those things. So that is where it is clearly saying, it is clearly depicting that the poets are the unacknowledged legislators. है ना, ये जो हैं आपके, they are unacknowledged legislators because they are just the voice of the people. They are not the people who are actually acting in the system or who are actually working in the system. They inspire the system, but they are not the real ones who are formally working into it. So that is why they are unacknowledged legislators. Then if you want, you can also talk about that it is also true that not, like say for example, it is not that all poets, you know, all poets are not legislations, are legislatures, है ना. अब जैसे हमने मेघदूतम लिखा, तो मेघदूतम is not about your legislation, है ना. So there are so many poems which are not about your legislation. So all poems or all poets are not legislators. Similarly, all legislations are not inspired by poems. है ना. तो it's not that A is equal to B, that means B will also be equal to A. No, ठीक है. So you can also bring this kind of another dimension to your essay. First, you talk about or you compare कि what is the similarity between poems and legislatures, है ना. What is the common thread? So common thread is there. So do we have examples to justify this common thread? You talk about how we have brought various legislations based on the poems aspirations, because aspirations are common. But then there is also a point that all poems are not leading to the legislations, or all legislators or all legislations are not driven by the poem. So the point is that it's not always true. You know, all the हमारे poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. It's not always true. So if you want, you can also contradict a bit, but main focus should be on justifying the topic that the poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. You know, we have आपका जो है वंदे मातरम is talking about, है ना, आपका जो है Vande Mataram is there, Sare Jahan Se Acha is there. So you will see that from time to time, where various poems have played a very influential role. है ना, आप देखोगे वीर रस की poems होती हैं, defense के ऊपर poems होती हैं. So there are so many poems on different themes, and we have legislations on different themes. Now the third one is, it is again a very interesting. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. है ना, history is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. History is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man. If you see the Hindi version of this in the question paper, इतिहास वैज्ञानिक मनुष्य के रूमानी मनुष्य पर विजय हासिल करने का एक सिलसिला है. It is talking about silsila, it is talking about series, है ना. History is a series of victories. सीरीज ऑफ विक्ट्रीज, इसका मतलब जो है यू हैव टू नॉट जस्ट गिव फ्यू एग्जाम्पल्स, यू हैव टू गिव एग्जाम्पल्स from different times of history, that how the scientific man has been the victorious, or how he has been victorious over the romantic man, है ना. तो it is talking about, again I will read it in Hindi also. इतिहास वैज्ञानिक मनुष्य के रूमानी मनुष्य पर विजय हासिल करने का एक सिलसिला है. तो सिलसिला means series of victories. So you have to be giving, or you are required to give the examples from different eras of history about this. ठीक है, won by the scientific man. So first thing is, we should be very clear in understanding what is a scientific man over romantic man, है ना. तो पहले तो हमें ये क्लियर होना चाहिए कि व्हाट इज अ साइंटिफिक मैन एंड व्हाट इज अ रोमांटिक मैन. ठीक है, और क्या हमेशा ऐसा होता ही है कि इट इज ओनली द साइंटिफिक मैन हु हैज ऑलवेज वन ओवर द रोमांटिक मैन, और डू वी हैव एग्जांपल्स वाइस वर्सा आल्सो. सो लेट अस फर्स्ट ट्राई टू सी or let us first try to understand the meaning of scientific man. When you say scientific man का मतलब हुआ जिसका आपका जो है rationality है, इसमें there is rationality, there is logic, है ना. जो आपका साइंटिफिक माइंडसेट होता है या साइंटिफिक थॉट प्रोसेस होता है, इट इज अबाउट आपका जो है logics, it is about your scientific way of thinking, it is talking about your rationality, है ना, rational thought process it is. and आपका जो है scientific man जो होता है वो बहुत exploring होता है ना, exploring, बिकॉज साइंस आपकी हमेशा नई नई चीज़ों को ढूंढती रहती है ना. यू ट्राई एंड यू एक्सप्लोर द न्यू थिंग्स, है ना. इन जनरल दीज आर सम ऑफ द बेसिक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ अ साइंटिफिक मैन. बट ऑन द अदर साइड इट इज सेइंग दैट रोमांटिक मैन. सो व्हाट इज अ रोमांटिक मैन? रोमांटिक मैन इज समवन हु इज मोर आइडियलिस्टिक, more content, we can say, and a more contentment in nature is there, the person is more idealistic. And romantic man is someone who is focusing more on your universal values, ethics, है ना, focusing more on universal values, ethics, ठीक है ना. इनके ऊपर जो है दे आर टॉकिंग मोर अबाउट इट, दे आर टॉकिंग मोर अबाउट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी, है ना. आपका जो है यूनिवर्सल वैल्यूज, है ना, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टुवर्ड्स द सोसाइटी, towards the society, है ना. that is your romantic man. मतलब more आपका जो है the one which is more आपका idealized, है ना, जो आपके idealism के ऊपर चलता है, one who is very happy, content, है ना, which is focusing more on ethics, values. और जो scientific man है, scientific man is working on the basis of calculations, rationality, है ना. उसका जो thought process है बहुत ही logics के ऊपर develop हुआ होता है ना. and the scientific man is always exploring. It does not mean that scientific man is not taking care of ethics or legality, but the point is ethics या values के ऊपर scientific man कुछ नहीं करता है, ऐसा नहीं है. but the point is when a scientific man in the pursuit of his in his pursuit of knowing the new things or venturing into the new things, sometimes it transgresses the values from one society to another society, है ना. आपका जो है वो ट्रांसग्रेशन कर देता है, बिकॉज वैल्यू सिस्टम ऑल्सो चेंजेस विद सोसाइटी. तो यू कैनॉट से कि उसने बहुत अनएथिकल किया है, वो ट्रांसग्रेस कर जाता है आपके सोसाइटल वैल्यू सिस्टम को. और सोसाइटीज़ में अकॉर्डिंग टू सोसाइटी आपका वैल्यू सिस्टम डिफर भी करता है. सो इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा जो है इट इज़ नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट योर, दैट इज़ व्हाट वी हैव रिटन, यूनिवर्सल वैल्यूज एंड एथिक्स का जो है यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन की बात नहीं है, वो अपने फायदे के हिसाब से इट कैन ट्रांसग्रेस द सोसाइटल वैल्यूज, है ना. इट इज मोर थिंकिंग अबाउट लॉजिक, इट इज मोर थिंकिंग अबाउट योर रैशनैलिटी. ठीक है, सो दैट इज योर साइंटिफिक मैन एंड दैट इज योर रोमांटिक मैन. नाउ लेट अस सी how, if in the history if you see how the scientific man has won over आपका जो है romantic man, है ना. तो अगर आप कहीं ना कहीं इसमें देखोगे तो ये आपको वो बोल रहा है कि if you are logical person, if you have a rational thought process, you will always win, है ना. And that is what it is saying कि history has so many examples, history has series of such examples of the victories where scientific man has been able to win over the romantic man. But if you see in the history, है ना, let us take the examples from the history. Neanderthals, अब Neanderthals have been completely wiped over by your Homo sapiens, है ना. Neanderthals को Homo sapiens ने खत्म कर दिया, जबकि Neanderthals they were physically more stronger, but Homo sapiens they were more, they had a better mental caliber, they were more logical, they were better organized, है ना. So they could wipe out the Neanderthals. So that is example of that how scientific, rational, आपका organized thought process has been able to wipe out the more muscular or more physically stronger Neanderthals, है ना. So that's an example from the history. उसके बाद अगर आप धीरे धीरे आगे चलो तो आप देखोगे कि as civilizations, है ना, even in the civilizations you will see that the civilizations which have been using scientific temperament or which were more scientific in their organization, in their actions, they could survive better, है ना. जैसे आप देखो the civilizations like say for example civilizations which traded in cotton and silk, है ना, जो आपकी cotton and silk growing civilizations थी, उन्होंने जो है better technology लगा के cotton and silk का जो है they created better products and they could, इसके चलते they could spread it across cotton route, silk route, and they could spread their economic might across the world, and they have done better than other smaller civilizations, है ना. तो साइंटिफिक जहाँ पे आपका आ जाता है साइंटिफिक थॉट प्रोसेस, सो वी हैव सीन दैट साइंटिफिक people or the scientific countries or the scientific civilizations have done better than others. And then when you see if we are talking about say cotton or silk kind of a thing, so if you see when Britishers came, है ना, Britishers came, they came up with a better technology, industrial revolution, है ना. तो उन्होंने जो है इन छोटी इन पुरानी civilizations को भी wipe out कर दिया, है ना. तो the point is that आप जितने scientific तरीके से आपने देखा, जितने भी civilizations रही हैं, they have been better able to manage their dominance. Magad Empire को देख लो आप, Mauryan Empire को देख लो, they were better organized, they are more scientific than the existing kingdoms or empires of that time, so they were better in that. Then you talk about your Turks or you talk about Mongols, so they had better tools, they had better movement resources like horses, ठीक है. So they have been able to win over many others, their contemporaries. Similarly, आप देखोगे Arabs. And Arabs have been very successful traders. Why? Because Arab traders, they have developed better tools of trading. They have developed maths, है ना. Algebra word जो है Arabic origin है, algebra. So better tools, better आपका जो है maths, better astronomy. So they have been, Arab traders have been a successful traders. उसी तरह आप देखोगे Mughals को देखो, Persians को देखो, they were better warriors. They had better war technology. So they have been more successful in comparison to others in those times. Similarly, आप देखो जो Europeans थे और या फिर आपकी जो European colonies थी, they were much better. They had better navigational system, they had better आपका जो है firearms technology, they had better other आपका organizational skills, more into your scientific आपका thought process base. So they have won across the world, है ना. They have better organized themselves across the world. And even today if you see, forget about history. Even today, if you see the countries which have, or the individuals which have better scientific thought process, है ना, they can arrange, organize the things in a very rational manner, है ना, they can think in terms of आपका clear cut or judicious use of the resources, they have been successful. So history is full of examples where scientific men have been more successful over the romantic men. You have to be very pragmatic, है ना. Scientific man is very practical in approach, है ना. Scientific man जो है वो आपका practical in approach, और scientific man is आपका जो है, even you can say they are very pragmatic in their approach. And even today you will see that corporates हो गए या political leaders हो गए who are better using the technologies, who are better using आपका जो है technologies in a rational manner, है ना, better organizing themselves, they are winning, है ना. आज कॉर्पोरेट्स देखो आपके जो हैं, आपके ये जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज हैं वो साइंटिफिक वे में डेटाज को मैनेज कर रहे हैं, एंड दे आर नाउ लीडिंग. सो दिस इज एन एग्जांपल राइट फ्रॉम योर हिस्ट्री, राइट फ्रॉम योर निएंडरथैल्स वर्सेस होमो सेपियंस टू प्रेजेंट टाइम्स. यू विल सी दैट दोज हु आर बेटर ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, those who have better thought process, those who are more rational in their approach, those who are more pragmatic in their approach, those who are exploring in nature, you know, by nature you have the inquisitiveness to know something new, you are more exploring and you are more successful, है ना. But on the other side, sometimes you see that it's not always, in the history also, it is not always that the scientific man has always won over the romantic man. Because what happens is कि scientific man, in its pursuit for excellence, in its pursuit for dominance, what scientific man does is sometimes it is not taking care of values and ethics, है ना. It is supporting itself with the legal system. वो अपने आप को लीगली प्रोटेक्ट करके चलते हैं, है ना. वो इलीगल नहीं होते हैं, लीगली दे प्रोटेक्ट, बट दे आर नॉट एथिकल. इफ यू सी द एग्जांपल्स फ्रॉम हिस्ट्री, ब्रिटिशर्स वेयर एवर दे वेंट, दे हैव साइंड द ट्रीटीज. इंडिया से भी जो है, when they have taken the laborers, they have signed the indentures. But the point is, अपने आप को उन्होंने लीगली प्रोटेक्ट करके रखा, ट्रीटीज को साइन किया, तो लीगली they have protected themselves. But otherwise, if you see how valuable or how you can say ethical those treaties were. So scientific men जो है, scientific men creates a kind of a mistrust sometimes, है ना. They create discontentment also in the societies, है ना. तो scientific men कई बार जो है, because they do protect themselves or they take the shelter of legal processes, but these legal processes many times are not ethical in nature. आज ही देख लो आप, even in today's environment, the developed countries, they are talking about IPRs. So IPR for your emergency medicines, IPR, like say for example, last 1.5 years, India and South Africa, we have been fighting over for IPR rights at WTO, है ना, for vaccine manufacturing. So legally ठीक है, आप पेटेंट की बात करते हो, but is it ethical? So many people are dying because of so many diseases, but you are not ready to give it, है ना. You are not giving, or you are not ready to give the IPR rights. So the point is कि scientific man is okay, it has its own virtues, but many times it is not doing the actions which are considered as your ethical or legal. And that is why many times you will see that the romantic man which is more idealistic in nature, which is talking about universal values, ethics, they have also been successful. And the masses, है ना, like take our example, हमारा freedom struggle, है ना, the masses have been able to win over the mighty Britishers. है ना. वो कैसे हो पाया? वो तो साइंटिफिक मैन थे. वी हैव बीन सक्सेसफुल इन विनिंग ओवर द मासेस बिकॉज आपका जो है बियॉन्ड अ सर्टेन पॉइंट, जहाँ पे आपका जो है साइंटिफिक मैन is not taking care of ethics and morality, there is आपका जो है there is discontentment against the scientific man, and there we have seen the victory of romantic man. We have example of Buddha, we have example of Gandhiji, we have example of Mandela, Nelson Mandela, we have examples of Renaissance, we have the example of French Revolution, Russian Revolution, Bolshevik Revolution, our own freedom struggle. So this is where sometimes आपका जो है आपका ethics moralities, they have won over आपका so called rational or scientific man's thought process. So many times जो है आपके romantic man, it acts as a counterbalance to the scientific man, because scientific man is very self oriented, scientific man is not about redistribution, scientific man सिर्फ अपने तक ही रहता है, scientific man in the sense आप जो अपने बारे में ही सिर्फ सोचते हैं, कुछ कंट्रीज अपने बारे में ही सोचते हैं. इफ यू गो बैक इनटू द हिस्ट्री, ब्रिटिशर्स ओनली थॉट अबाउट देमसेल्व्स, है ना. आप तो द पॉइंट इज दैट जो साइंटिफिक मैन है ना, साइंटिफिक मैन को मेनी टाइम्स दे हैव बीन डिफीटेड बाय द रोमांटिक मैन. सो वी कैन add this aspect also, that history is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man is true, but the reverse has also happened many times, and it is also true. So if you want, you may contradict also, but here you have to give the series of आपका जो है examples, है ना, different examples from the history, that how the scientific man has been able to gain lot of success in the history, and even today it is happening. ठीक है. So the history is a series of victories won by the scientific man over the romantic man, and the lesson is that ultimately the thing is that being scientific is good, having victory is also good, है ना. You having victory, but victory at what cost? है ना, victory at what cost? So victory, just you are a victor is not enough, है ना. Victory at what cost? So victory should be based on values, है ना. Scientific man should learn how to respect values also, not only how to respect law, है ना. अपने आप को लीगली प्रोटेक्ट खाली नहीं करना है ना, बिकॉज विनिंग समथिंग विदाउट वैल्यूज इज जस्ट लूजिंग एवरीथिंग. एंड सो दैट इज व्हाट you can, if you want, you can conclude on these dimensions also. Now, a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not. A ship in harbor, next topic. A ship in harbor is safe. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. But that is not what ship is for. You know, ship in the harbor is safe. Ship, harbor, safe. But that is not what ship is for. A ship in the harbor, हिंदी में लिखा है, जहाज बंदरगाह के भीतर सुरक्षित होता है, परंतु इसके लिए तो वो होता नहीं है ना. आई रिपीट, जहाज बंदरगाह के भीतर सुरक्षित होता है, परंतु इसके लिए तो वो होता नहीं है. A ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. So it is talking about that you cannot escape hard work, है ना. You are born for a certain purpose, है ना. You are born, everything which is a life or which has a life is born with a purpose, है ना. अब एक जो आप देखोगे, एक सीड है, उसका भी एक पर्पस है ना. जो भी चीज़ है, एक पक्षी है, एक पेड़ है, एक इंसान है, everything is born, everyone is born with a purpose. So you cannot escape that. A ship a ship in the harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for, है ना. तो it is talking about आपका one should be हार्ड वर्किंग इन लाइफ, वन शुड रियलाइज द पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ, है ना. आपको जो है, आप आए हो तो आप किसी पर्पस से आए हो. यू शुड नॉट हैव अ एमलेस लाइफ, है ना. एमलेस लाइफ नहीं होनी चाहिए, है ना. दैट्स अ सिन, है ना, that's a sin because you are having certain, you are born with certain capabilities and it is your duty to realize those capabilities and achieve your potentials, you know. So that is what a ship is what is the in the harbor is safe, कि ठीक है जब तक ship harbor में है वो safe तो है ना, till the point ship is in the harbor it is safe, but it is but we have not made the ship to be safely kept in the harbor, है ना. अगर ऐसा है तो मान लो एक एम्परर है, ठीक है, तो एक एम्परर का जो बच्चा है, अगर वो एक एम्परर का जो बेटा है, सन ऑफ एन एम्परर, should he only live in the palace or he should also have the experience of the battlefield, है ना. उसी तरह जो है शुड अ कंगारू, जो आपका कंगारू है, क्या वो अपने बच्चे को सिर्फ हमेशा अपने पाउच में रखे कि वो सेफ रहेगा, या उसको जो है जमीन पे उतार के चलाना भी सिखाए. और हम अपने बच्चे को इस डर से चलाना ही ना सिखाएं कि चलते चलते वो गिर सकता है ना. सो इज इट लाइक कि मतलब वी शुड नॉट टीच आवर चाइल्ड हाउ टू वॉक बिकॉज ऑफ द फियर दैट ही माइट गेट इंजर्ड while walking or he might fall while walking. So क्या हमें ऐसा करना चाहिए? और should a bird feed the birdie in the nest for forever? No, है ना. You feed in the nest till the birdie becomes a little stronger, है ना. तब तक ही आपको फीड करना है. एक बच्चे को आपको चलना सिखाना है, तब तक ही चलना सिखाना है, because the line is saying a ship is safe, a ship in harbor is safe. So the point is कि आपको अपने कंट्रोल में तब तक रखना है जब तक कि आपका डेवलप नहीं हो रहा है, तब तक आपने सेफ रखा. बट बियॉन्ड दैट यू हैव टू लेट द अदर पर्सन गो, है ना, go and see the hardships, see the ups and downs, because when you see the ups and downs, you realize your potential, you start looking inwards, and the shine, है ना, जो आपको शाइन, जो आपको ग्लोरी, जो आपको अचीवमेंट मिलती है, दैट कम्स ओनली विद द हार्ड वर्क, है ना. तो शिप इज नॉट मेंट टू बी केप्ट ओनली इन द हार्बर्स, इट इज द पर्पस ऑफ द शिप इज समथिंग एल्स. सो यू कैन नॉट एंड यू शुड नॉट, you know, you should not be lethargic, you should not be someone who is not ready to accept the hardships, है ना. अगर ऐसा केस होता कि अगर हमें सिर्फ सेफली रहना है, अगर माँ ये सोचती, इफ द मदर वुड हैव थॉट नो आई विल नॉट लेट माई चाइल्ड गो अवे, ठीक है, बिकॉज द चाइल्ड माइट गेट हर्ट, और इफ द फ्रूट थिंग्स की आई विल नॉट नेवर लेट द सीड आउट, क्योंकि वो बाहर निकलेगा तो हो सकता है उसको बर्ड खा जाए, तो कभी यहाँ बायोडाइवर्सिटी होती ही नहीं, है ना. सो we need to go move out and see, and had it been the case that सब लोग बोलते नहीं, किसी को नहीं जाना है, एक सोल्जर की मदर बोले, एक सोल्जर की वाइफ बोले कि नो आई विल नॉट लेट द सोल्जर गो एट द बैटल फ्रंट, देन व्हाट विल हैपन टू अस, है ना. द पॉइंट इज दैट अगर ऐसा नहीं होता, अगर हम अपने बच्चों को बाहर नहीं निकालते, द वर्ल्ड वुड नॉट हैव सीन मेसीज, और द वर्ल्ड वुड हैव नॉट सीन आपके जो है तेंदुलकर्स और धोनीज और डॉक्टर कलाम्स, है ना. सो मेनी एग्जाम्पल्स आर देयर इन द वर्ल्ड. अगर मदर टेरेसा की मदर बोलती कि डोंट गो, देन वर्ल्ड वुड नॉट हैव गॉट मदर टेरेसा, है ना. अगर आपको जो है आपके विक्रम बत्रा की मदर बोलती नहीं, यू डोंट हैव टू गो टू द बैटल फील्ड, तो आज हम कारगिल वॉर हीरोज की बात नहीं कर रहे होते, है ना. सो द पीपल हु हैव रियली टॉयल्ड हार्ड, द पीपल हु हैव रियली वर्कड हार्ड, अगर बुद्धा के फादर बोलते कि नहीं मेरा बच्चा नहीं जाएगा, ठीक है, सो वो कभी भी बुद्धा वुड नॉट हैव बीन बुद्धा. Had Mahatma Gandhi not been thrown out of the train in your Africa, then Mahatma Gandhi would not have been Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. He would just have been an advocate, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So the point is कि it is very important to see the hardships, है ना. ठीक है, आपको जो है अपना जो है शिप को हार्बर में कई बार रखना पड़ता है, many times we have to keep the ship in the harbor, but that is not forever. So now the question is, why should we keep the ship at the harbor? if the ship is not in a proper condition, if the ship is having some kind of a damage and we know that it cannot work and it cannot fulfill the purpose, or the ship is not prepared, ठीक है, तो आपको हार्बर में रखना है. जैसे छोटा बच्चा है, जब तक वो चलना नहीं सीखता है, यू नीड टू कीप द चाइल्ड इन योर ओन केयर. ठीक है, जब तक कोई चीज़ आपकी जो है पूरी तरह से डेवलप नहीं हो जाती है, वो बाहर सिस्टम में जाके फाइट करने के लिए तैयार नहीं होती है, आपको उसको वो केयर देना है, वो शेल्टर देना है. बट बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट इफ यू आर डूइंग इट, then you are not helping, rather you are becoming a challenge for the growth and development of that particular आपका जो है person. अगर हमने if we would not have taken the difficult decisions like LPG, तो आज हमारी इतनी बड़ी इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ नहीं होती, आज हम 5th लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी नहीं हो पाते. तो समटाइम्स यू हैव टू टेक डिसीजंस, है ना, यू हैव टू टेक डिसीजंस, यू हैव टू गो आउट, यू हैव टू सी द अप्स एंड डाउन्स इन योर लाइफ. दैट इज व्हाट द एसे इज सेइंग, है ना, कि ठीक है, जब तक आप मेच्योर नहीं हो एज अ पर्सन, एज अ कंट्री, एज अ सोसाइटी, एज अ नेशन, ठीक है, डोंट गो आउट, है ना, डोंट गो आउट बिकॉज देयर इज अ डेंजर टू योर लाइफ, और देयर इज अ डेंजर टू योर सिस्टम्स. बट द पॉइंट इज you cannot say that bahar the outside is dangerous, so you will be always living in a comfort zone. You have to move out of your comfort zone. So that is what a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ship is for. So you have to realize your potential, है ना, as Vivekananda has said, arise, awake and stop not until the goal is reached. So you have to arise, awake, you have to struggle, you have to learn, you have to realize your potential, you have to see inwards, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and based on that you have to realize the purpose for which you are born, है ना. I still remember a small poem that was taught when I was a child, है ना. It says, what does little birdie say, and what does little birdie say in her nest at peep of day? Let me fly, says little birdie, mother let me fly away. Then mother birdie says, birdie rest a little longer till the little wings are stronger. So she rests a little longer, then she flies away, है ना. द पॉइंट इज कि जब तक कि आपके जो है मसल्स डेवलप नहीं हुए हैं, जब तक कि आपकी स्ट्रेंथ डेवलप नहीं हुई है, तब तक तो ठीक है, शेल्टर, केयर, एनवायरनमेंट इज गुड, बट बियॉन्ड अ सर्टेन पॉइंट इट इज नॉट गुड, है ना. यू हैव टू मूव आउट, यू हैव टू स्ट्रगल, you have to find your strength. Then you may also talk about that it is like why it is not happening, you know, why some people are not able to realize their potential, and why some countries or societies are not able to realize their potential. So you can also very briefly talk about this dimension in the essay also, ki why we are not able to realize, because sometimes we are not having that kind of wisdom to understand our potentials, or we lack that wisdom to have an insight, है ना, अपने अंदर झांक करके देखना, वो हमारे पास नहीं है. Sometimes we do not have the resources also to realize our potentials. Sometimes we are not having that kind of a vision to understand the fact of the lives. So that is why, and then lethargy is also there, है ना, because we are someone who want to live a very comfortable life, है ना. We do not want to take risk. That risk taking ability is also not there. So that is why sometimes you see that people feel that a ship in harbor is safe, so keep the ship in the harbor, है ना. So that is there, है ना. आपका जो है, आपका adventurous attitude नहीं है, आपका exploring attitude नहीं है, आपका जो है कई बार capabilities नहीं है आप में, कई बार जो है आपका सराउंडिंग एटमॉस्फेयर जो है, आपका सोशल सिस्टम, आपका पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम, आपका इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम इज ऑल्सो नॉट सपोर्टिंग. लाइक से फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हाई डोंट वी सी मेनी ऑफ योर startups in India? And when you see a small country like Finland, so many startups are there because the whole system is helping you for that. And a whole system is saying you do the startup. Government is saying you do the startups. We are ready to help you even if you fail. हमारे यहाँ पे society जो है वो आपको कई बार जो है failures को they do not take that failures are someone who have learned so many things in life. You know, we take failures as someone who has lost everything and they have no place of respect in the society. So that is why many times we are not ready to take the risk. We are not ready to move out in the oceans. We are not ready to see the struggle or ups and downs in the life, hardships in the life. So that is also, you can write in the end that there should be an enabling environment. You know, there should be an enabling and encouraging environment right from your home to schools to your societal level to your आपका national international levels. ठीक है? So this is a simpler essay and a very common philosophy. Now the next essay is also again a simple essay, and this is also based on a very common philosophy. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. And so let us write, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. The time, this is section B, essay number 5. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining, है ना? हिंदी में इट इज सेइंग छप्पर मरम्मत करने का समय तभी होता है जब धूप खिलती है ना? टाइम, इट इज बेसिकली the main keyword is time. Time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. So this is a very common philosophy that everything should be done on time. Time is the ultimate thing, है ना? आपका जो है समय पे ही सब काम होना चाहिए. Stitch in time saves 9, है ना? आपका जो है हर काम के लिए एक, for everything there is a time and the action should be taken at the right time. Right time, right आपको decisions लेने चाहिए, because अगर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि या तो वो दिन नहीं होगा दोबारा से या आप नहीं होंगे, है ना? कुछ भी हो सकता है. लाइफ इज़ वेरी अनसर्टेन. हो सकता है वो दोबारा टाइम ही ना आए कि आप इस पे फिर से एक्शन ले सको, और ना ही वो टाइम आए, या हो सकता है आप ही ख़त्म हो जाए इस लाइफ में कि आप उस पे एक्शन ही ना ले पाए, है ना? सो द ओनली थिंग इज़ दैट वी शुड ऑलवेज बी ready to take the right actions at the right time. You know, the time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. See, if you see nature, you know, nature has made space. है ना? nature ने, कुदरत ने space बनाई. space क्यों बनाई? Nature has made space so that everything does not happen at a spot. Similarly, nature has also made time so that everything does not happen at the same moment. है ना? नेचर ने स्पेस बनाया ताकि हर कुछ एक जगह ना हो. नेचर ने समय बनाया ताकि सब कुछ एक साथ ना हो, है ना? यू हैव सनराइज टाइम, यू हैव सनसेट टाइम. सो एवरीथिंग इन द नेचर is like, it is, nature has very beautifully created the concept of space and time, so that everything happens. Everything happens in the nature, or everything should happen at the designated time and location, which is the most appropriate for that. That is why it is saying that अगर आपको roof repair करनी है तो आपको जो है समय पे एक्शन लेना होगा. आपको roof repair करनी है तो आपको टाइमली जो है आपको रिपेयर करना होगा, because if it is raining, that time you cannot repair, और आपके घर के अंदर पानी आएगा ही आएगा, है ना? सो दैट इज व्हाट इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट, है ना? टाइम टू रिपेयर द रूफ. सो व्हाट इज देयर इज, लाइक, इफ if you see, if we take the actions on time, we can save ourselves. We can protect ourselves from a big disaster. Like say for example, Montreal Protocol. We had taken the timely action and we have been able to plug the ozone hole. So that is something is timely action. Supposedly, had we not taken the timely action, then what would have happened? Similarly, we have taken timely actions जैसे Falin, है ना, Falin आपका cyclone आया ओडिशा में. So there has been a learning from the past and we have taken and we have prepared ourselves. Now you will see that आपके जो cyclones are not creating the challenges or the problems that it has created during super cyclone. Because we have taken and we are taking actions on time. Similarly जो है Operation मेघदूत, we have done it timely. है ना, आपका सियाचिन में, कारगिल के टाइम पे we have taken the timely actions and that is what has led to our victory. Many times we have taken the timely actions and police or the security forces have been able to avert a very big mishappening, है ना. हमने कई बार timely actions लिया, कई बार आप देख रहे हो RDX पकड़े गए, आपके जो हैं bombs पकड़े गए, है ना, आपका जो है intelligence के ऊपर timely action लिया, तो so many lives could be saved. Many times we have examples where timely actions have been taken by the drivers and आपके जो हैं by the drivers or air force आपके जो हैं aeroplane के pilots which have saved the lives of so many people. So the point is you should take the timely actions, है ना, timely आपको action लेना है, otherwise delay in the action is or delay in your or you the inactivity or untimely actions, they lose the meaning. है ना, it is like justice delayed is justice denied. है ना, timely आपने अगर काम नहीं किया तो फिर वो काम करने की कोई बात ही नहीं रही, कोई वैल्यू ही नहीं रही, है ना. Supposedly today we are talking about digital आपका जो है security. So if we are not making digital laws on time, so it will lose the importance because already many people would be under the attack of your cyber crimes. Similarly, if we are not having drinking water, clean drinking water supply in a particular village, if we are taking the timely action, we could save the lives of so many people. So many people are dying because of your sanitation issues, because of your malnourishment, पीने को ठीक पानी नहीं है. But if we are not taking it on time, then how many people are just dying because of your diarrhea? है ना, छोटी छोटी बीमारियों से लोग आपके जो हैं कई सारी जगह लोग जो हैं वो मरते जा रहे हैं, है ना. कई जगह we do not even have the roads to connect and people are dying because they could not reach to the nearest hospital because of the lack of roads. So there are villages where we do not have the roads and the students are not able to get to the nearest colleges. So the point is कि आपने पूरी generation को है uneducated छोड़ दिया या उनको proper education का जो है opportunity नहीं मिला because हमने timely action नहीं लिया, है ना. So that is why it is said that आपका जो time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. ठीक है, तो you should always take the timely action. But sometimes we are not able to take the timely actions. Why? Because sometimes we are lacking that vision. We do not understand the complexities. We do not understand the value of time. है ना, हम टाइमली कोई एक्शन ही नहीं ले पाते बिकॉज हमारे पास जो है हमारे को उस टाइम की वैल्यू का ही नहीं पता. हमें लगता है वी विल डू इट लेटर, बट वो लेटर कभी नहीं आता है, या फिर जब वो लेटर होता है तब तक ऑलरेडी डैमेज हैज बीन डन, है ना. सो वी शुड ऑलवेज वर्क फॉर टाइमली एक्शन. व्हाई वी आर नॉट एबल टू डू इट? देन गिव द एग्जांपल्स वेयर वी हैव टेकन द टाइमली एक्शंस एंड हाउ इट हैज हेल्प्ड. देन कंपेयर इट विद द एग्जांपल्स वेयर अनटाइमली एक्शंस हैव लेड टू लॉट ऑफ योर लॉस ऑफ लाइफ, प्रॉपर्टी, आपका रिसोर्सेज, एवेन्यूज, अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर द पीपल. टाइमली एक्शंस टेकन बाय द कंट्रीज, टाइमली actions taken by the societies, है ना. And untimely actions, you can compare it with untimely actions taken by countries, by societies, है ना. So you can compare. And then what is the importance of timely action, why we should always take the actions on time, what kind of a system should be promoted to take timely actions, ठीक है. तो इस तरह करके we can write this essay. And this is a easier one. Time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. Then essay number 6, you cannot step twice in the same river. You cannot step twice in the same river. Cannot step twice same river, है ना. हिंदी में है आप उसी नदी में दोबारा नहीं उतर सकते. So this is also a essay, मतलब one after the other. The essay is talking about time, importance of time, है ना. जो है time के around ही ये भी essay है कि आपका जो है you cannot step twice in the same river. And this is the essay we have also given in our test series this year, and very fortunately the same topic has been there in the mains exam also. So we have already uploaded its discussion. इसका discussion जो है we have already uploaded it the very same day when the UPSC question paper was there on 16th of September. Because हमने पहले ही इसका discussion किया था essay से, तो we have cut it from there and we have already uploaded it. So we will just quickly discuss it. You can see the detailed discussion which has already been uploaded. So you cannot step twice in the same river. इसका मतलब है कि time जो है, one thing is constant, that is your change, है ना. टाइम के साथ एवरीथिंग चेंजेस, है ना. इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट चेंज, इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट चेंज, एंड चेंज हैपन्स विद एवरी सेकेंड, है ना. आपका जो है, जो आज है वो कल नहीं है, जो कल होगा वो परसों नहीं होगा, ठीक है. सो एवरीथिंग चेंजेस. सो दैट इज व्हाई यू कैनॉट स्टेप ट्वाइस इन द सेम रिवर. Because if its literal meaning is not कि आप एक बार नदी में गए तो आप दोबारा नहीं जा सकते. This is not the this is not the interpretation. The interpretation is that change, है ना. Change is the constant, है ना. That is something is constant and everything is changes. So everything is changing. So you cannot step twice in the same river. मतलब आप एक ही situation से दूसरी बार नहीं जा सकते हो. You can go through the similar situation. Suppose you are writing UPSC exam, and by any chance or because of any circumstances you have not been able to qualify this exam in the first attempt. Then also in the second attempt you have not been successful in qualifying it. So the situation, you will see that in the first failure you have learned something else. In the second failure you will find the reasons were something different, and by this time you have also been like you have also developed yourself for, or you have better prepared yourself, but this time your mistakes are different. So exam is the same exam, but the situation is also the same situation, but जो conditions which have led to the situation of failure are different this time, है ना. तो आप जो है, because with time things changes, with time you change as a person, with time आपका जो है external internal environment everything changes. So that is why it is said that you cannot step twice in the same river, है ना. With time आपका जो है every moment changes everything. Your external environment changes, you as a person also evolve, या आप evolve हो जाते हो, या आप उसमें जो है आपका जो है value system नीचे गिर जाता है. You are not the same person, है ना. You are not the same person. हो सकता है पिछली मिस्टेक से आपने काफ़ी लर्निंग ली हो, तो यू कैन बेटर मैनेज इट, है ना. सेम साइक्लोन, सुपर साइक्लोन, वी हैव लर्नड द लेसन, फॉलन, now we are not in the same position, now rather we are better off, है ना. तो the point is कि आपका internal and external environment दोनों चेंज हो जाता है ना. वो कभी एक सा नहीं रहता. दैट इज वाई इट इज मेनी टाइम्स कॉमनली सेड दैट यू लिव इन द प्रेजेंट, यू लिव द मोमेंट, बिकॉज ये मोमेंट दोबारा नहीं आने वाला है है ना, ये सिचुएशन, ये सर्कमस्टांसेस आपके सोशल, पॉलिटिकल, इकोनॉमिक, फिजिकल, हर तरह के सर्कमस्टांसेस जो हैं वो चेंज होते हैं. एंड यू ऑल्सो बिकम मेच्योर एज अ पर्सन, यू ऑल्सो ग्रो एज अ पर्सन, है ना. कंट्रीज ऑल्सो ग्रो एज अ पर्सन. जो हमारा नॉन अलाइनमेंट जो कोल्ड वॉर के टाइम पे था, प्लस टुडे ऑल्सो वी आर सेइंग दैट वी आर ऑल्सो फॉलोइंग स्ट्रैटेजिक ऑटोनॉमी, इट इज कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट. दीज आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स, है ना. उस टाइम और आज के टाइम पे हमारी फॉरेन पॉलिसी, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट इन 1960s 70s एंड यू कंपेयर द फॉरेन पॉलिसी टुडे, द बेसिक वैल्यूज आर सेम, बट थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड, थिंग्स हैव इवॉल्व्ड, सो देयर हैज बीन लॉट ऑफ चेंजेस इन आवर फॉरेन पॉलिसी, है ना. So that the thing is कि the main crux here is that situation changes, है ना. क्षण भंगुरता है, means आपकी जो है everything is changing, everything is for a moment and then it changes. So you have to prepare yourself to deal with ever changing situations. You have to be prepared to deal with आपका जो है ever changing situations, conditions, and you should be better prepared. If you have to cross the same river again, if you have to pass through the same condition twice, thrice, then it is better that we should take the learnings from our earlier mistakes, or we should take the learnings from our earlier positive steps, and we should better perform, है ना. But we cannot perform, or we cannot give the same performance every time, because of your this change, है ना, because of this constant that is change, है ना. So we have already discussed it in detail. You may watch that video, है ना, which has already been uploaded the very same day when we had the essay paper on 16th of September. Now this is a very interesting topic. 7. A smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. A smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. A smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. हिंदी में है, हर असमंजस के लिए मुस्कुराहट ही चुनिंदा साधन है. हर असमंजस के लिए मुस्कुराहट ही चुनिंदा साधन है. A smile is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities, है ना. chosen vehicle मतलब people prefer. ambiguities का क्या मतलब हुआ? uncertainties, है ना. ambiguities मतलब uncertainty, है ना. chosen vehicle मतलब preferred mode, है ना. it is preferred mode. Now a smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. Let us first see, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस के लिए let us first see कि हम हंसते कब हैं. हम smile, not हंसना, it's not about laughing, it is about smiling. So when do we smile? You know, when do we smile in life? If you see as an infant we smile, है ना. जब हम बिल्कुल छोटा न्यू बॉर्न बेबी होते हैं, then also we smile, है ना. As an infant we smile, and that time we do not even understand the language, है ना. We do not even understand the language, even then we smile. Why do we smile? We smile because we can feel that tender touch of the mother. We can feel that tender hug, है ना, of our loved ones. जब हम बहुत छोटे इन्फेंट होते हैं तो हम स्माइल करते हैं. हम लैंग्वेज में नहीं समझते हैं, लेकिन वो टेंडर टच, वो टेंडर हग, है ना, दैट फीलिंग ऑफ वार्मथ, दैट मेक्स अस स्माइल. बट as we grow and from infant, when we become a child, when do we smile? When we become child, when we see someone whom we love, और अपनी मेमोरी में याद करते हैं, यार इसके साथ बहुत मज़ा आता है, उसको देख के बच्चा बहुत खुश हो जाता है ना. एनीवन कैन, द पर्सन, इट कैन बी सम पर्सन और इट कैन बी सम एनिमल. सपोजिटली वंस अ चाइल्ड हैज़ प्लेड विद अ डॉग, है ना, उसके साथ उसने बहुत इंजॉय किया. अगेन आपको पता चलता है वो डॉग उस बच्चे के सामने से फिर 10 दिन के बाद से गुजरता है, तो अगेन वो बच्चा स्माइल करने लगता है. तो if you have happy memories as a child, seeing somebody and you have had a good time with somebody, someone, so you smile. As a child you smile when you see your near ones and near and dear ones. As a child you smile when you are hiding something. You might have seen बच्चे कुछ छुपाते हैं और खूब मुस्कुराते हैं कि ढूंढो, है ना, कि मैंने तो छुपा दिया. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो व्हेन अ चाइल्ड स्माइल्स. और अ चाइल्ड स्माइल्स और चाइल्ड हैज़ अ मिस्चीवियस स्माइल ऑन द फेस. अगर उसने कुछ गलती की होती तब भी वो स्माइल करता है ना. वी हैव दैट वेरी लाइक कॉमन एग्जाम्पल कि व्हेन कृष्णा, लॉर्ड कृष्णा वॉज अ यंग चाइल्ड, ही वुड ईट द बटर, ही वुड ईट द मक्खन, ही वुड ईट द soil, mitti, and then he would smile and tell his mother Yashoda that I haven't eaten something. So at that moment it's a mischievous smile. And even if you see children when they have done some mischief, there is a smile on their face. है ना. तो स्माइल के जो हैं कंडीशंस क्या हैं कि आप बचपन में किन चीज़ों के लिए मुस्कुराते हो. आपका जो है इन्फेंट होते हो तो आप अलग चीज़ों के लिए मुस्कुराते हो. But when you become grown-ups, you know, when we become grown-ups, we smile. हम कब स्माइल करते हैं? When we see our friends, when we see our loved ones, when we see some strangers, है ना. अगर आप किसी स्ट्रेंजर को देखते हो तब भी आप पहले मुस्कुराते हो, है ना, because that breaks the ice, है ना. वो आपकी जो है, वो आपका जो एक बैरियर होता है ना, उसको ब्रेक करता है. It breaks the ice. और when you want to be friendly with someone, you smile, है ना. तो smile as an adult. You smile on occasions like common occasions कि loved one से मिल रहे हो आप, अपने near and dear one से मिल रहे हो, आप smile कर रहे हो, ठीक है, you are happy, you are smiling. Then आपका जो है you are learning something from your mistakes and sometimes you are smiling on yourself only. अपने आप पे ही मुस्कुरा रहे, यार मैंने ये क्या गलती कर दी थी, what was this mistake I have done, what a silly mistake I have done. So you smile on that. And then sometimes when you are meeting a stranger or you do not know what is going to happen in your life, है ना. तो when there is ambiguity, है ना, when there is ambiguity का क्या मतलब हुआ? Uncertainty. When there is ambiguity, when the situation is not clear, there are two ways to respond to it, है ना. When there is ambiguity है, things are not clear, there are two ways to respond. Either you smile और आप एंगर, है ना. आप या तो स्माइल करते हो या आप एंग्री होते हो, है ना. बिकॉज आपको पता नहीं है कि सामने वाला जो है वो कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा. But generally when there is ambiguity, we smile, especially when we are in a weaker position, है ना. We smile because हमें पता है कि because we are in a weaker position, we can't win over the other person, है ना, who is more mighty, है ना. So we cannot win over the other person with anger, है ना. We are in a weaker position, so we smile, है ना, because हमें पता नहीं सामने वाला रिएक्ट कैसे करेगा. या if we are looking for some kind of favor from somebody else, we smile, है ना. तो स्माइल जो है when you do not know and when sometimes when we are depressed, है ना, लाइफ में कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, there is lot of ambiguity, क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा. So to bring back the cheer in your life, we say अरे यार स्माइल करो, ठीक है, जो होगा देखा जाएगा, ठीक है. So smile is something because it is a very positive gesture, है ना. या तो आप एंगर के साथ करो, एंगर के साथ करके जो है वो नेगेटिविटी आती है एंड यू डू नॉट नो हाउ द अदर पर्सन वुड रिएक्ट. बट स्माइल इज समथिंग विच इज हैविंग अ वेरी पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड. है ना, it brings lot of positivity even in your interaction with the strangers, even in your interaction with somebody you are in a situation where you don't know what to do, you just smile, है ना. एंड समटाइम्स जस्ट यू स्माइल कि आप अपनी जो है सारी मुश्किलें सारी दिक्कतें को हटा करके यू जस्ट स्माइल, बिकॉज स्माइल हैज़ लॉट ऑफ पॉजिटिविटी इन इट, है ना. कहा भी जाता है स्माइल कॉस्ट नथिंग बट गिव्स मोर. It enriches those who receive without making poorer those who give. So smile के साथ you cannot say that you are going to lose something. But yes, if you react to an ambiguous situation with anger, there might be a possibility of counter attack. But smile से आपका जो है generally we do not see that there is a fear of counter attack or there is a fear कि दूसरा बंदा जो है वो मुझको कोई नुकसान पहुंचाएगा. तो smile is, that is why it is said that smile is the chosen vehicle, है ना, फॉर ऑल एम्बिग्विटीज. सिमिलरली आप देखो, आप किसी नई जगह में जाते हो एज अ ट्रैवलर, सपोजिटली टुडे आई गो टू जापान एंड आई डोंट नो एनीबडी देयर, आई डोंट नो एनी कंडीशन देयर, आई डोंट नो देयर लैंग्वेज, I don't know how to interact with the other person there. ठीक है, I might show anger, but I don't know how the other person would react. So I would just smile, and I would just smile, and I would see what is his reaction. And generally when you smile, the reaction is also the positive reaction is there. आपका जो है, आपका smile के साथ जो है आपका उधर से भी reciprocation is smile. तो smile जो है it becomes a tool. Smile is used a tool in such conditions to set a tone. अगर आप, if you know that ki you have done something wrong and you are being called by your senior, ठीक है, you will not go with anger, you will go with a smile on your face कि ठीक है सर गलती हो गई, अगली बार नहीं होगी, है ना. So you are trying to calm down the situation. Yes, that is why sometimes when the situation is very dangerous, you smile. Or sometimes there you do not know the other person, you do not know how the ice could be broken, you smile. Because smile जो है, smile आपका जो है, that is something positive. And smile is something जिसका कोई नुकसान नहीं है, है ना. So that is why it is said that smile is the chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. जो uncertainties हैं, है ना, uncertainty को deal करने के दो तरीके, या तो smile या anger. तो smile is the chosen vehicle because smile costs nothing but gives more. That is why people choose smile. Difficult situation, you choose smile, है ना. Unwanted situation में भी when you are depressed you smile because you know that ambiguity आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते हो, है ना. लाइफ में बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, बहुत चैलेंजेस हैं. यूपीएससी में नहीं हुआ, कुछ दिन तक रोते रहे, परेशान रहे, फिर लगा कि यार इतनी एम्बिग्विटी है, कुछ हमें पता नहीं है, रो के भी कुछ नहीं होगा. सो लेट अस स्माइल, लेट अस ब्रिंग पॉजिटिव एनर्जी, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी स्माइल, है ना. बट You can give different examples to this, है ना, because life में problems हैं, उसमें रोने से आपकी problems ठीक नहीं होंगी. You need to smile because smile gives that positive energy, है ना. आप unwanted situation में हैं, वहाँ पे आप और negativity लाओगे तो it can be more dangerous for you. So you smile. But does it always happen that smile always the face or the chosen vehicle of ambiguity? Or is smile always the face of ambiguity? No, smile is not always the face of ambiguity. Like you will see that there are situations where we in the ambiguous situations we become anxious, है ना. कई बार आप देखो, कई बार जो आपकी एम्बिगुअस सिचुएशंस होती हैं, कई लोग जो हैं बहुत एंशियस हो जाते हैं, दे स्टार्ट क्राइंग, दे लूज द टेम्पर, और दे आर वेरी क्यूरियस, दे आर वेरी कंफ्यूज्ड, है ना. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप जो है एम्बिग्विटी, सपोजिटली यू आर फ्लाइंग और पता चला आपका प्लेन हाईजैक हो गया. सो इट्स नॉट दैट यू विल बी स्माइलिंग. मैनी पीपल विल बिकम, यू सी देयर फेसेस, दे आर फुल ऑफ curiosity, they are full of anxiousness, they are full of horror. So we cannot say that smile is always the face of ambiguity. And a smile is not always the face of ambiguity. And similarly, ambiguity does not always have a smiling face. है ना, एम्बिग्विटी का भी हमेशा जो है स्माइलिंग फेस नहीं होता है. कई बार एम्बिग्विटी के साथ जो है आपके अदर इमोशंस आर कनेक्टेड. एंड सिमिलरली जो है स्माइल इज ऑलवेज नॉट द फेस ऑफ एम्बिग्विटी. स्माइल इज ऑल्सो द फेस ऑफ कंपैशन. स्माइल इज ऑल्सो द फेस ऑफ कंटेंटमेंट. है ना, आपका जो स्माइल है वो हमेशा एम्बिग्विटी के लिए ही नहीं होता है. स्माइल आपका कंपैशन के लिए भी होता है. A mother when she looks at her child, she smiles. So there is no ambiguity. It is very clear. It's a very pure relationship. It's a very clear-cut relationship. है ना? And then there is a smile of contentment that we see on the face of Buddha, that we see on the face of Mother Teresa, that we see on the face of Gandhi ji. So smile is not always referring to ambiguities. Smile is also about आपका जो है, it's about contentment. Smile is also the face of, or is the chosen vehicle of contentment. Smile is also the chosen vehicle of compassion. Smile is also, sometimes you will see that many people who while dying, or the departing face of the people are smiling. So that's an example of contentment. They have lived their life to the fullest, and while departing from this earth they are smiling. है ना, बहुत टाइम होता है, and there is a बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि मरने वाले के चेहरे पे एक मुस्कुराहट होती है, because that's a sign of contentment. है ना, तो you cannot say that smile is always about your ambiguity. है ना, we also have a song कि हंसते हुए आते हैं सब, रोता हुआ जो रोते हुए आते हैं सब, हंसता हुआ जो जाएगा. है ना, तो रोते हुए तो सब आते हैं, हंसता हुआ जो जाएगा वही मुकद्दर का सिकंदर कहलाएगा. So the point is that smile is, we cannot always link smile with ambiguity. Some smile is for contentment, smile is for compassion, and a smile is when you are very happy from deep inside. है ना, जब आप में एम्बिग्विटी होती है तो यू हैव कन्फ्यूजन्स. है ना, जो आपका एम्बिग्विटी होती है, इट इज़ ऑल्सो अबाउट योर एंजाइटी. एम्बिग्विटी इज ऑल्सो अबाउट योर क्यूरोसिटी. सो इट्स नॉट दैट यू आर ऑलवेज स्माइलिंग. है ना, सो वी कैन नॉट से दैट इट इज ऑलवेज अ चोजन टूल, बट येस, in many circumstances we prefer smile, because smile is a positive energy radiation. Smile is lightening a serious situation. है ना, it is acting as a booster. It boosts your energy. When you are depressed, it is a booster. It is an energy booster. So that is why we smile. And and another thing to be noted is that smile is, only smiling for ambiguity is not the solution. है ना, we cannot always smile for ambiguities. Rather, we have to find a solution for it. है ना, आप कब तक स्माइल करोगे? We need to find a solution for it. है ना, we need to go beyond just smiling. We have to find a solution for that ambiguity. We have to judiciously navigate through the situation. है ना, we cannot just keep on smiling. We have to navigate through the situation. Ambiguity के साथ खाली आप smile करके आपका काम नहीं चलेगा. है ना, smile momentarily for some time, it is good. है ना, to break the ice, to set the tone, that is okay. But beyond that you cannot just keep on smiling. स्माइल करके समस्या का हल नहीं होता है. है ना, स्माइल के साथ जो है आपको आगे हार्डवर्क करना पड़ेगा. जस्ट एक्सक्यूज मी. है ना, supposedly tomorrow you become an IAS officer, you are an administrator. ठीक है, people will come to you with smiling face. है ना, and the smiling, the reason behind the smile could be for your rightful or wrongful purpose. People might come to you with a smiling face with some hidden agendas. People might come to you smiling for with a smiling face for seeking some help, है ना? So people would be coming to you with rightful and wrongful जो है आपके intentions, but what you have to do as an administrator, you have to sweep through the smile, है ना? You have to sweep through the smile, not get stuck in that smile, है ना? आपको उस smile से you have to sweep through that smile rather than just getting stuck in the smile, है ना? तो you have that kind of a wisdom to understand the reason behind the smile as an administrator. We have to be very we should have that kind of a vision or foresightedness to understand, even in international relations, why a enemy country is smiling at us, why the enemy country is showing a very positive gesture to us. So is there a hidden agenda? So smile is, of course, in many situations it is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities, but it is not always the so. It is not always the same situation. Smile is also for contentment, smile is also compassion, है ना? And smile जो है आपकी, smile is not a solution to your ambiguities. We have to go beyond the smile and we have to navigate through the situation to find a solution to it. And also that's a learning for us also कि as a person, as a country, as an administrator, है ना, we need to understand the reason behind the smile, whether it is a rightful purpose or wrongful purpose. If it is a wrongful purpose, then we have to be cautious. If it's the rightful purpose, then we have to see what kind of a solution we can bring for it, है ना? So smile is something which is a chosen vehicle for all ambiguities. ठीक है, तो this essay is like many students have said that we have not written on this essay, है ना, because इसमें ज़्यादा content कई बार नहीं होता है. But when you think कि why do we smile, कब smile करते हैं, smile क्यों करते हैं, smile के पीछे के reasons क्या होते हैं, you start linking it to your day to day life कि हम कब smile करते हैं. ठीक है, कई बार हमने गलती की होती है, when we have done something wrong we smile, or when we have to hide something we smile. If we are going to somebody, we don't know how that person would react, we smile. If we are seeking help, we smile, please help. And so the point is that when we smile, why we smile, is it always we smile for the right purpose, or we always smile when there is something fishy, or there is some ambiguity, or there is some confusion. We also smile looking at our loved ones. So it's a smile of contentment, है ना? We smile when we have achieved something in life, so that is contentment. So think from various perspectives, you get the content for it. And the last topic is just because you have a choice. Because you have a choice, it does not mean that any of them has to be right. Any of them has to be right. You know, just because you have a choice, just because you have a choice, it does not mean that any of them have to be right. You know, just because you have a choice. You know, हिंदी में it is केवल इसलिए कि आपके पास विकल्प है, केवल इसलिए कि आपके पास विकल्प है, इसका ये अर्थ कदापि नहीं है कि उनमें से किसी को भी ठीक होना ही होगा. I repeat, केवल इसलिए कि आपके पास विकल्प है, इसका ये अर्थ कदापि नहीं है कि उनमें से किसी को भी ठीक होना ही होगा. ठीक है, so it is saying that just because you have a choice, it does not mean that any of them has to be right. And so it is talking about your rightful choice. You know, it is talking about your rightful choice. कि आपका जो है choices should be rightful. It's not that you have the authority, you have the power, so might is right is wrong, है ना, कि might is right, might is always right, this is wrong, है ना. might जो है वो हमेशा ही बलशाली जो है, जो पावर पोजीशन में है और उसके पास ऑप्शंस हैं, अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं, तो उसका हर डिसीजन ही सही होगा, ये गलत है. दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ दिस essay talking about, है ना. द फर्स्ट इज़ like just because you have a choice, so just because then why just because, why do I have a option of choice, or why do I have a I am in such a position where I can avail the opportunity of having different choices. So just because I am in a powerful position, ठीक है, I am born with a silver spoon, ठीक है, I am born in a family which has lot of resources, or just because I am in a power position in a society, in politics or in economics, or in my culture is better than other cultures, ठीक है, technologically I am superior, just because I have a choice, है ना, just because I have a choice, or I am born privileged, be it your social context, be it your economic context, be it your technological context, आप किसी भी तरह से if you are mightier, you know, in any aspect, if I am mightier, it does not mean that the decisions that I have taken would be right. Like say for example, just because Hitler had the power, we cannot say his decision to persecute the Jews were right. Just because US has the power to put sanction on countries, it is not its rightful decision all the time. US sanctions have not been always right, है ना. just because you are in a power position, है ना, just because you are in a power position and you have chosen to slap a security guard at the gate, that is the recent Noida incident where a lady, she has the resident of that high-end society, she slapped a guard who was standing at the gate because she had the choice, because she is more economically or socially powerful than that guard. So can she take a choice to slap that person? No, it's a wrong choice. Just because upper class teacher, you know, upper caste teacher had the choice, and he did not allow a Dalit student to sit with the other students in the class to have the midday meal. Is it right? No, this is wrong. You know, this is what has been reported in the newspapers. Many times we come across such cases that upper caste teachers are not allowing the Dalit students to have midday meal in some of the schools. Very unfortunate thing, many times reported in the newspapers. So just because the teacher had the choice, he is in a powerful position because he is a teacher or she is a teacher, and you are not allowing, your choice, your decision is wrong. You know, you are in a powerful position does not mean that your actions and your choices are right. You know, just because we are Homo sapiens, just because we are human beings, so our choice to destroy the environment, to create or to grow our economy and create such big projects, okay, is it right? No. So the point is that just because you have a choice, and why do we have a choice? Because we are in a powerful position. Many times we are in a powerful political position, social position, economic powerful positions, है ना, आपका जो है. So many times it's not that we are in a power position, so that will mean that all our choices are always right. You know, we have the examples. You know, I have just given some of the examples. There are 100 such examples where we can say that the decisions of the powerful people, or the decisions of the people who could actually take the decision because of their power position, has always not been right. They have proved to be wrong. And so just because you have the authority to take the decision, it does not mean that आपके हर option और आपका हर decision सही होगा. ठीक है. And And if you take it, and if you want to discuss another aspect to this topic, is another aspect could be like, because these are your philosophical topics, so there can be different interpretations. You cannot say this is right or this is wrong. There can be different ways of interpreting this topic. Another thing is we can ask in this question is, do we really have choice? है ना, डू वी रियली हैव चॉइस? बिकॉज इट इज सेइंग कि आपको राइट चॉइस करना है ना, यू हैव टू चूज द राइट थिंग, बट डू वी रियली हैव अ चॉइस? बिकॉज राइट जो है आपका वो बिल्कुल राइट है, बिकॉज देयर आर सर्टेन पोजिशंस व्हेन यू हैव द राइट ऑफ, व्हेन यू जस्ट बिकॉज यू हैव अ चॉइस, व्हेन यू आर इन अ सच अ पोजिशन, व्हेन यू आर इन अ पावर पोजिशन, यू हैव नो चॉइस, यू आर ड्यूटी बाउंड, यू कैन नॉट लुक फॉर चॉइस. लाइक आपने देखा होगा, चाणक्य ने भी कहा है, राजा के पास कोई चॉइस नहीं होती है. किंग हैज नो चॉइस, ही हैज टू डू हिज ड्यूटी. अ सोल्जर हैज नो चॉइस, देयर इज नॉट टू रीजन वाई बट टू डू और डाई. ठीक है, सो मेनी टाइम्स वी डू नॉट हैव चॉइस. इट इज लाइक फॉर अ डॉक्टर, इफ यू गो टू अ डॉक्टर, डज ही हैव अ चॉइस वेदर टू सेव अ लाइफ और नॉट? नो. If you, when you are saying ki rightful choice, there is nothing rightful choice. If you are in the right position, ठीक है, if you are in the position, then everything, your right choice is your duty. राम के पास क्या ये चॉइस थी? राम के पास ये चॉइस थी कि वो दशरथ की बात को ना माने, but it was his duty, so he followed it. In our oriental culture, duty is ultimate thing. Doing duty has no choice. As a ruler you have no choice, as a soldier you have no choice, है ना, as a dutiful person you have no choice. Why do we look for choice? We look for choice because, or we look for options. Why? Because we look for options because we want to look for a easier method, or we want to bypass the difficult situation, है ना. We are looking for options, otherwise तो option है ही नहीं, जो right है वही option है ना. Why do we look for choices? We look for choices when we are either confused, हमें पता ही नहीं है क्या करना है, या फिर we are looking for, or we have some ulterior intentions, है ना. When you are talking for choice, now when you are talking for choice, it means you are either confused or you want to be excused. दो ही सिचुएशन में वी टॉक अबाउट चॉइस. अगर आप राइटफुल चॉइस की बात करते हो तो दैट इज योर ड्यूटी, देन नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ चॉइस. गांधी जी ऑल्सो हैज सेड देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ चॉइस बट ओनली नॉन वायलेंस. Even Buddha has said no question of choice, no question of going to extremes. You cannot choose between extremes, you have to follow the madhyam marg, है ना. So चॉइस जहाँ पे कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ ड्यूटी है, राइटफुल ड्यूटीफुलनेस है, राइट ड्यूटीफुलनेस है, देयर इज नो ऑप्शन ऑफ चॉइस, है ना. देयर इज नॉट टू रीजन वाई बट टू डू और डाई, है ना. सो चॉइस की जहाँ पे हम बात करते हैं, तो चॉइस पहले तो जरूरी नहीं है कि if we are in a powerful position all our decisions would be right, है ना. we can discuss this essay on this aspect only, but if you want to add another aspect, you can also question कि choice, what is choice when it is duty, and when it is your duty and you are duty bound, you are rightful person, there is no choice for you. And as a king, no choice. As an administrator, you do not have any choice. You have to perform your duty. As a doctor, you have no choice. As a teacher, I have no choice but to teach you in the best, honest possible way that I can do. I have no other choice. ठीक है? And if you are a soldier, you have no choice. Gandhi ji, Buddha, everybody said there is no choice. Do your work rightfully. That angle, if you want, you may also add to this, and then we can also add a dimension that how we should, what kind of capabilities we should have to take right decisions, है ना. It is talking about आपके right choices, है ना. Our choices should be right, because we have a authority, we have a power, does not mean all my actions would be justified, है ना. Today if I am in a powerful position and I am having a gun, that does not mean I have the right to kill the people. If I am having a very high and luxury car, I have no right to kill the people who are sleeping on the roads. So this is wrong. It's not about choice, है ना? It's not about choice. You do not have such kind of choice, है ना? If you are like a Hitler, you do not have a choice to persecute the minorities, or you do not have the choice to persecute आपका Jews. This is wrong, है ना? So the point is how to inculcate the rightful decision making abilities. So rightful decision making जो है, right choices will only come through education, and this education starts at home. School is the next step, है ना? From your फैमिली वैल्यूज़, फ्रॉम योर स्कूल में जो आपकी एजुकेशन है, उससे आपको राइटफुल चॉइस, आपको जो है सोचने का, समझने का, एनालिसिस करने का जो है, our learning system should be based on rational thought process. Then we should have that kind of wisdom. Our decisions depend on our wisdom. Our decision depends on our experiences. Our decisions reflect our family values, it reflects our societal values. So we should focus on improving these values at various stages, so that everyone is having a rightful understanding of, or everyone is having an understanding of what is right, what is wrong. What has to be done, what is duty, what is rational, what is our duty, what is our rational behind it. Okay, why should we take this decision, why we should not go for wrong choices, why, how we should talk about the values of empathy, sympathy, जो हमारे में ये ingrained होनी चाहिए, truthfulness. So how will it, all these values can be ingrained in a child from the very like from the very infant stage. आपका जहाँ से जो है आपका अपब्रिंगिंग स्टार्ट होता है, वहाँ से लेके आपका सोसाइटल एंड आपका जो है अदर वैल्यूज विल हेल्प अस, है ना? और हमारे को खुद को भी हमारे एक्सपीरियंसेस, हमारे टीचिंग, हमारे लर्निंग्स हेल्प अस टू हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अ विजडम टू डिसाइड बिटवीन व्हाट इज राइट, व्हाट इज रॉन्ग. सो बेसिकली दिस इज सेइंग दैट माइट इज ऑलवेज राइट इज रॉन्ग, है ना? माइट जो है वो हमेशा राइट नहीं होता है. दिस इज अ वेरी बेसिक फिलॉसफी. So in short, we have discussed the 8 essays. Of course, 6th essay we have not discussed much because it has already been uploaded. Discussion has already been uploaded for that topic. But otherwise, we have just discussed the essays, but we have not discussed about how to write it. Because again, I am repeating the same thing. There is no one way of writing. Everyone has his or her way of writing. So you can use different examples. You can use different quotes, datas if you want. And good essays can be without quotes, datas and those things. And then some of these sayings or जो आपको topics दिए हैं, they are the quotes from somewhere. But I have not even mentioned once ये किसका quote है या ये philosophy किसको belong करती है. Because see, for UPSC essays, it is not about the test of your philosophical knowledge. It is not the test about how many quotes do you recall. And it is not about कि किसने बोला था वो आपने लिख दिया तो नंबर मिलेंगे. No. ठीक है, आता है लिख दो, नहीं आता है avoid it. Try to write your essays in a very generalist manner, generalized manner. आप अपना लिखो, generalistic approach से essays को लिखो. And every year you will see that ever since we are getting philosophical topics, people say now philosophical topics are very important, philosophy is very important. It's the people from many times we have seen that the essay toppers are from technical background. The people who are scoring highest in the essays, you will see that most of them are from technical background. So that myth about कि we should have some idea of philosophy, it is not required. I don't think it is required for these philosophical essays. You need to have a generalist approach. किसने लिखा, किसने बोला, कब कहाँ किसने ये कहा, these things does not matter. These things do not matter. The only thing that matters is your understanding and its application in your real life, है ना? वो इस इन essays में they are looking for it. ठीक है? And for such kind of essays, I would suggest that apart from your syllabus go for some general readings also, है ना, थोड़ी आप general readings करेंगे plus observation around you, so that you can link these philosophies, you can link what is happening around you in your essays, so that will make your essays more realistic. And always try to give some kind of a suggestion or solution, है ना, अगर कोई problem discuss कर रहे हो तो try to give it, then it is like a holistic picture. You have understood, you have talked about the problems, and then you can think of some possible solutions also. ठीक है? So thank you everyone. Best of luck to all of you.